Hello. Hello, Kimono Gray. Kimono 1 million, Avery 2. Avery's probably not gonna be here today. I love story time too. Hello. Could you let me know how the audio is? I'm a little tired today, guys. I'm not gonna lie. But I do want to stream, so we'll see how much we can get through. Seems good? Alright. What happened to Avery? Oh, she's usually not around on Saturdays for stream. She's busy. And she doesn't like Higurashi. Can you imagine? Can you imagine not enjoying this story? How are you guys, though? Triple, let's go! Definitely mature audience, yeah, it's true. Okay, I think this is the one we're doing. A group of boys are playing baseball under the powerful sun. The sound of cicadas makes the heat stand out even more, but to those boys, it's just another kind of cheering from the crowd. 5 streak, let's go! I've slept all day, the lack of light is getting to my body and mind. Oh no, that's not good! Try to get some sunlight if you can. Of course, they go through training exercises to build stamina. But the boys don't actually like such routine activities. What they look forward to the most is the free game after practice. The school in Hinamizawa is actually borrowed from the forestry service. The schoolyard is made of gravel, so it's not very appropriate for playing sports on. Compared to that, the grounds at the school in Okinomiya are properly maintained for athletic activities, so the kids grow even more energetic when they come here. Kids from Hinamizawa really don't care if the ground is made of gravel or not. The other instructor is watching the game, so I decided to go get some drinks for the team. Coach, where are you going? I thought I'd get some drinks for everyone. Do you mind helping me, Satoshi-kun? Oh no, not at all. Satoshi-kun decided to come along with me. Sometimes kids don't like what grown-ups choose, so I'm glad he agreed to help. Satoshi-kun and I got in the car and headed to the grocery store nearby. Manager, how is Sadoko doing? Well, she's doing fine. Although it's an extremely slow process, her emotional wounds are healing. I think we should let her rest for a little longer. It's natural for Satoshi-kun to be worried. Satoko-chan has been in the hospital for over 2 weeks. Of course, he doesn't know his sister has Hinamizawa syndrome. Not only that, she's almost at L5. She could become deranged at any moment. He believes she's depressed because of the shock of their parents' accident. He came to the clinic every day to cheer his sister up. But Satoko-chan has become emotionally unstable and was showing some dangerous symptoms, so we called off the visits. She already is deranged. Apparently so. Very true. In fact, Satoko-chan is not doing so well. L5, the stage Satoko-chan is at, is a very abnormal one. The man from last year, who was at the same stage, was acting so abnormal that even a drug addict in his final stages would have turned and ran. There's no guarantee Satoko-chan won't fall into the same condition. When we performed the autopsy on the man last year, we learned the true identity of the syndrome and gained a great understanding of its mechanisms. They say autopsy, but the guy was alive. So, I don't know if you could consider that an autopsy or not. We even discovered some important facts that may lead to the development of a cure. However, we have yet to find a method of actually curing the disease. So if Satoko-chan becomes unrecoverable, we may have to dissect her, just like we did the man from last year. How can I tell Satoshi-kun about his sister's situation? All I could do is make vague comments and lie to him that she's recovering. What if she becomes much worse? That would make me an unforgivable liar. Virtual autopsy, oof. The tiny bit of conscience that remains in me hurts. If it's okay with your clinic, can she stay there a little longer? Why are you saying that? I thought he wanted her to come home as soon as possible, so I'm a little surprised. Well, actually, Satoko doesn't get along with our aunt. I heard she didn't get along with her parents, but she can't get along with your aunt and uncle either? Satoko doesn't open up to grown-ups. Satoshi-kun has told me about their family background. Their mother's constant remarriages wounded her children deeply. Satoshi-kun was able to overcome it, but Satoko-chan was too young to be able to do that. That left her traumatized, and she now has the tendency to distrust or dislike guardians who aren't related to her. Actually, nobody would like a guardian who isn't related to them. It's not just Satoko-chan. But usually, people try to deal with that, even if they don't like it. I guess Satoko-chan's not capable of that. Our uncle isn't home much. Besides, even when he is, he's either sleeping or watching TV, so he's not the problem. But our aunt really goes after Satoko. Why doesn't she like her? I can guess why. Satoko-chan's parents were dam proponents, and because of that, the villagers considered the aunt and uncle part of the Hojo family and ostracized them as such. Wouldn't like a guardian really... Is Takano a joke to you? True! She wasn't related to her grandpa, and look at what she's doing for him. Crazy. Moreover, they passed away suddenly in an accident and left 2 children behind, so I guess there would be more hate than than gratitude. If she had been obedient like Satoshi-kun, everything would have been fine. But Satoko-chan can't be that way. She shows that in her attitude and expressions, which leads to her and her aunt having a big fight. I've told my aunt about Satoko's situation, but she just can't understand. I think you're a great big brother, Satoshi-kun. You're the one and only relative Satoko-chan has left now. Right. I feel that way too. Satoshi-kun said with a slight hint of a sigh. He doesn't say it, but it seems Satoshi-kun has grown tired of having to cover for Satoko-chan every time she and her aunt fight. He's a good person, as well as a good big brother, so I'm sure he'll do anything to cover for his sister. But that's a very exhausting thing to keep doing forever. Satoshi-kun was already doing that when their parents were alive, and eventually his mental equilibrium couldn't handle the strain. He grew sick and he visited my clinic. I thought his circumstances might have improved after their initial cause. His parents were gone. But it seems things were even worse than before. I understand. I can't release Satoko-chan if things are like that. Her symptoms may return again. Don't worry about the hospital fees. I'll make sure Satoko-chan truly recovers. While trying to pretend I'm listening to his request, I feel a little disgusted at myself for making such a selfish excuse. I'll make sure. Takano-san is working on her dissection plan as we speak. That's so messed up. If that's possible, that'll help me too. What? I mean, if Satoko stays in the clinic a little while longer, then I can relax as well. That's all. What do you mean? As soon as Satoko comes back, I know she'll get into fights with my aunt again. Then it's back to those days of constant fighting and screaming again, and I'll probably get dragged into it too. So if Satoko were hospitalized for a very long time, that would be the easiest on me. But when I think like that, I hate myself. Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun is a great big brother who always sticks up for his little sister. But that doesn't mean he doesn't feel burdened. To think things like that, what a terrible big brother I am. The more I think that way, the more I hate myself. Satoshi-kun said, sniffling once. His expression was one of anguish, as if truly feeling his own sin. His desire to be a model big brother is putting himself under greater pressure. I feel bad for Satoko-chan, but I also feel bad for Satoshi-kun in a different way. As someone who knows the both of them well, I feel that I must be their ally since they don't have anyone else who cares about them. Interesting. I assume that Satoshi's sin implied, like, him killing his aunt, but I guess not. It's his guilt for wanting Satoko to stay in a hospital. Oh, this one. My harsh and brutal days are still continuing without end. The situation between my aunt and Satoko remains the same. All the characters are very weird. Oh, for sure. No one is normal here. My aunt yells at Satoko for no reason every night. Although Satoko cries, she still talks back to her. So my aunt's yelling goes on and on forever. Satoko's crying goes on and on too. When Satoko sees me, she grabs onto me. She hides behind my back and tries to ignore my aunt's yelling. She always comes to seek my help. Satoko doesn't open up to anyone but me, so if I don't protect her, she'll be devastated. That security is something our parents didn't grant to Satoko. I have to be the one to provide it. But every day, day after day, every time Satoko cries, every day, day after day. Satoko grabbed onto me while crying yesterday. I patted her head, but along with pity, a different emotion came to me. I wanted to grasp her head and smash her against the wall. What an unbelievably devilish and awful emotion. No. I can't think that. No, it's not that I can't think it. I just can't acknowledge that feeling. Since that day, there's been someone else inside of me. That someone is trying to eat me up from the inside and switch places with me. When Satoko begs for my help while crying, that person tries to make me spill out some awful and hateful words that are sure to damage Satoko forever. We love a good old intrusive thought, real. Leave me alone. Don't grab onto me. Go away! No, I can't! To prevent him from taking over my body, I clenched my stomach and drove him out. I managed to do that. But that wasn't it. That person is coming after me, trying to get back inside of me. I won't let such a scary thing get back inside of me. He knows there's no room to slip into my heart as long as I keep it held shut like this. So he stopped trying, and instead is following right behind me. He's waiting for me to let my guard down. When I walk, he walks right behind me. He's breathing down my neck. He follows me everywhere, and when I lie down, he stares at me. He's waiting for the right moment to jump back inside of me so he can hurt Satoko. It's been so hot lately. Maybe the heat is getting to me, and that's why I think things like this. I'm the only family Satoko has, so I'll have to protect her from my aunt for the rest of my life. That's my eternal duty. The rest of my life? Forever? Do I really have to do that forever? If only Satoko. But I'm her only family. But it's because of my aunt. But it's because of the villagers too. It's almost Watanagashi. Some irresponsible people are saying that the curse will once again fall upon Hinamizawa. They're also saying that it'll fall upon me and Satoko for sure. Maybe it's just my imagination, but lately the villagers expecting it are giving me especially sharp looks. I feel like I'll be killed on the day of Watanagashi. Of course, there's no reason why I would be killed, and it's just my imagination. Pat. Don't come inside of me. Time to disappear, Satoshi! It's time. Satoko is my only sister in my family, so don't tell me those awful things. Pat. Stop. Don't come this way. Don't come this way! The footsteps came up right behind me, and the hand touched me on the shoulder. Ah! Oh, Rena.
Are you okay? Are you?
I must have been acting weird. Rena looked worried. Her name is Rena Ryugu. She just moved here and transferred to my school. Nobody remembers her, but supposedly she lived here in Hinamizawa a long time ago. In fact, she hardly remembers anything about Hinamizawa either. Since Mion is the only other classmate who's my age, I'm glad she's my friend. She usually carries on happily alongside Mion, but occasionally she shows more feminine consideration.
Are you feeling okay? Do you want me to take you to the nurse's office? Do you?
Thank you. I'm okay. Do I look sick or something?
Yup.
It's weird we don't get anything with Shion and the teddy bear unless that's to come since that's when he vanished. I don't know if at this point he knows if Mion and Shion are different, because I think she hid it from him for quite a while. Like, I think she reveals it just before he disappears. So maybe it's soon. Her immediate answer made me realize I wasn't myself.
Is it about Satoko-chan? Are you worried?
No, that isn't it. She knows that my problem isn't physical, but a mental one. This is just something I think to myself. But even though Rena seems like a very easygoing person, maybe she's more perceptive than she appears.
Since I just transferred here recently, I may not be able to help much, but I can at least listen. Sometimes talking can help.
Although she just transferred, she already knows quite a bit about me and my sister, and also about the situation with the villagers. But talking about it won't solve anything. Actually, if I talk about it, I feel like I'd be admitting to my weakness, which might give that person a chance to get inside of me again.
You were so surprised just now. That's why I thought something really serious was bothering you. Oh.
Oh, that. Lately, I feel like someone's following me all the time. Pit-pat, pit-pat. I thought that was you. Sorry. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore.
Footsteps? Following you?
Eh?
I know those. I know those footsteps.
They're gonna stop it there? There's no way. Hi, Surface Tenchi, how are you? Renari. Yeah, hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, we are on the last chapter. School is the children's world. Not playing the PS3 patch? Nope, we are playing the Steam version. The values of grown-ups don't apply. Children decide their own values and create their own world. So the rules of the grown-up world, of the village, don't mean anything here. Even when the villagers badmouth the Hojo family and try to isolate them, that has no meaning at our school. In the children's world, children decide the rules. Rules they think are irrational don't exist here. That's why, as the representative for the children here, I vow that I will never let any irrational rules come into our world. Within the school, no harassment is allowed towards the Hojo siblings. In the very beginning, some boys teased Satoko, but they were punished severely and it hasn't happened ever since. What? That's the least I can do to resist the madness of the village. That's the least I can do to resist— oh wait, okay. So I hope Satoshi and Satoko both feel that the school is a safe place for them. Satoshi must notice my concern, because he often smiles when he's here. However, I never see Satoko smile. Satoko's classmates used to try to cheer her up, but soon after they decided that it was best to just leave her alone. I used to try to talk to her. When I realized something, I stopped doing that. I'm a member of the Sonozaki family. To Satoko, I'm one of her enemies, so I'm sure she feels uncomfortable to have me around her. All I could do is watch over her. That's why Satoko is alone in the classroom. That said, Rika-chan is always hanging around with her, even though Satoko told her she was annoying. Satoshi too is always beside her. These two are the only ones who remain by her side. It isn't limited to Satoko, of course. The malicious isolation is still continuing towards the Hojo family. Because their hysterical aunt is so hostile towards her neighbors, there's nobody who sympathizes with her. It's wise to know that there are fights worth picking, and also fights better set aside. If the aunt had even a little tolerance or self-control, this isolation wouldn't have continued. Of course, the villagers were the ones who forced them into that role, even though they weren't related to the issue. But if she had stayed quiet, then it wouldn't have gone so far. The aunt's hostility is one thing, but she's dragging everyone in the family into it as well. The uncle and the aunt haven't been getting along, and he hardly comes home. Both Satoshi and Sadako are forced to live in shame. The aunt vents her stress by harassing Sadako. This was the same too. The aunt is her guardian after all, but Sadako doesn't even try to hide her disgust, so things aren't going smoothly between them. If she had behaved like Satoshi, then she wouldn't have been made into a target. So, does that mean the sad life Sadako is living right now is something she caused herself? No, it doesn't. But no matter how much I sympathize and how much I want to help her, nobody knows what to do. An apology won't change the situation. The flow can't be reversed. The fact that the Hojo family is ostracized by the entire village can't be changed. That's the horribleness lurking underneath our lives. The neighbors, the village, and the community. Once they become your enemies, the world can become so cruel. Japanese people have known that since ancient times, which is why we cultivated empathy and an obligation to show courtesy to one's neighbors. No matter who I blame, Satoko won't smile. So the only thing I can do is watch over her and make sure that she's safe when she's at school. Thank you, Mion. Eh? Sorry, what? I just want to thank you for being so concerned about Satoko. Satoshi kind of appears absent-minded, but sometimes he says things as if he can read your thoughts. Glad to know the Japanese people invented empathy. Oh my gosh. I tried to deny it since it's out of character for me, but he smiled as if he could tell exactly what I was thinking. Satoko's just forgotten how to smile. When she's at school, she can let go of a little tension for a while. I'm sure she treasures that time. That's basically the only thing this old man can do for her. That's not true. I really appreciate it. Stop that. You don't need to say that. Besides, my family's the one who's causing all this grief. I don't think that way. I really don't. I'm not good at reading people's subtle cues, but I know for sure what he just said is a lie. Satoshi knows that he and his family are being isolated because of the Sonozakis, and he's of course aware that I am a member of the Sonozaki family too. Satoshi is mature, and that's the only reason he doesn't take it out on me. If he had the same temper as his aunt, he would hate me bitterly. Knowing that, the least I could do is not get close to them. But I'm a meddlesome person, and when I see Satoko looking depressed or Satoshi forcing himself to smile, I have to do something. That might be even more troublesome to Satoshi and Satoko, though. Maybe I just don't understand Satoko's feelings. Why? My family's causing Satoko grief. So for me, a member of that family, to hang around her, is that the right thing to do? Sure, that's you being you. What do you mean by that? Are you saying I'm insensitive? I don't mean that. If this atmosphere itself is robbing Satoko of her smile, then only someone who can completely ignore it can bring her smile back. This old man can't tell if you're trying to compliment him or not. You're mean. I'm not ridiculing you. Really. I just want you to help. Eh? I can't make Satoko smile again by myself. I need someone like you to help me. But I'm Mion Sonozaki, you know? If I do something insensitive, I might end up hurting Satoko even more. Satoko's already lonely. Are you going to leave her alone too? This is the first time Satoshi has asked me for something so aggressively. Satoko is a very important person to him. He's saying he needs my help to make her smile again. But still, no. Maybe he's right. What's going on between the Sonozaki family and the Hojo family is an issue among the grown-ups. We children don't need to care about that. The irrational rules of the grown-ups don't mean anything in our world. So I have to object to the irrationality of the grown-up world using methods of my own. Are you sure Satoko won't feel bothered by me? She may at first, but I'll be with you. I'll be with you, Mion. So she'll open up right away. You think so? Should we do something after school today? If we go home first, our aunt might say something and we might not be able to leave. Okay, then it's simple. Don't go home first. But if we get home too late, she'll ask us what we were doing. Let's see. I know. Why don't you join a club? A club? Yeah. Tell her you're going to an after-school club. Tell her that you're doing something after school before going home. There are plenty of people who go out after school before they go home. That'll be no problem. But if we mess up our clothes, our aunt will say. I really despise how all their inner voices think the same way. But then when we have Keiichi POV, their outward personalities are nothing like the cool calculating nerd emoji insides of every single character apparently has. That's true. It's so weird. I guess living in Hinamizawa makes everybody think really similarly. And then since Keiichi never lived in Hinamizawa, he, can't pick up on that. Until, way later anyway. Okay, then we'll do something indoors. Then your clothes will stay clean. Indoors? You mean in the classroom? But wouldn't Chie-sensei say something? Hehehe, it's possible to play passionately while not going wild indoors. Contrary to my appearance, I love playing games. I've collected some treasures from overseas too. Some of the manuals are written in English and are a little complicated, while with some of them, I just need someone to play with, so a lot of them are just sitting in the storage room. Do you think Satoko can play those too? Sure. If you don't know the rules, then you just make them up. As long as everyone's following the same rules, it's totally okay. I said it so confidently, but would bringing games from home and asking Satoko to play with us actually make her smile again? What have I got to lose? Maybe I'll bring one of the board games tomorrow. Oh, also, Mion, I have something else I want to ask you. What? This old man is all ears. I'm looking for a part-time job. I thought if I could get her a nice birthday present, that might make her feel better. There comes the bear. We're getting places. Teddy bear, let's go! Oof, sorry, my voice is not in good condition today. But I wanna get this stuff, I wanna know! Where's the bear? I see. No, you don't need to do that. You're a promising member of the Hinamizawa fighters. We'll save your spot, so you could come back anytime, okay? I don't know about that, though. I have no idea when I can come back, so I thought I should resign at least for now. Satoshi-kun says he wants to quit the Hinamizawa fighters. I know very well of Satoshi-kun and Satoko-chan's situation, so I was expecting that he might say this. The relationship between Satoko-chan and her aunt has gotten worse, to the point that it could be considered abuse. When someone from the Child Consultation Center came, of course her aunt behaved herself. Then immediately after, her harassment turned even more vicious. According to the neighbors, the aunt's scolding and Satoko-chan's crying can be heard nightly, and sometimes it goes on past midnight. Satoko-chan's weekly physical checkup results are slowly growing worse, and we're trying to keep her stable by increasing her medication. But unless her relationship with her aunt improves, she's sure to go terminal and sink into madness. Although, she isn't the type to become deranged, even at the terminal stage. She's the type who holds everything in, harboring her insanity inside. Just like she pushed her parents off the cliff 2 years ago, Satoko-chan may kill her aunt. Thanks to the mountain dogs, the incident was resolved as an accident, and Oishi stepped aside, although he is still suspicious. If something like that happens again around Satoko-chan, he's sure to investigate her mercilessly. I can't do anything more about Satoko-chan's environment changing for worse. So I'm not surprised to hear that Satoshi-kun wants to quit the baseball team so he could be with his sister more. Actually, I'm starting a part-time job. That's why I can't come to practice. A part-time job? Is there something you want to buy? I want Ooishi Parasite lore, please? More on Ooishi. We hardly got anything. Yes, it's almost Satoko's birthday. There's a teddy bear Satoko's been looking at, and I want to get it for her. That's right. I remember the birth date on her entrance card. I think it's June 24th, right after the Watanagashi festival. I see. You're such a good brother. I'm sure Satoko-chan will be thrilled. I hope so. I could tell Satoshi-kun is also stressed out. To him, seeing Satoko-chan being harassed is the same thing as being harassed himself. His stress can be released through moderate exercise, such as with sports, and also with plenty of rest. If Satoko-chan is being yelled at nightly, then it's easy to figure out that Satoshi-kun isn't getting enough sleep either. I don't know what kind of job he's starting, but I don't think he'll be able to vent his stress on it. In fact, I don't like the idea of Satoshi-kun taking a part-time job, because he's already so worn out in every way. I asked him if he wanted me to help him pay for the present, but of course he declined the offer. It's a present from him, so he wants to earn the money himself. He's taking this part-time job only to earn enough money to buy Satoko-chan's present, so it'll be a temporary thing. If it's for a short period of time, maybe it won't be that bad. Well, I want to stop him from working because I don't want him to get even more stressed. Since he says Satoko-chan's birthday is near, I don't think I can stop him. Satoshi-kun is determined. If I say any more, I may lose his trust. So I'll have to accept his leave of absence. Oh, Coach, can I maybe borrow a bat? I completely misunderstood his words. Later, I found out that he carried around that bat to protect himself, and realized that, even then, he was already showing some dangerous symptoms. He believed there would be a fourth mysterious death this year, and that he would be the victim. He became obsessed with the idea that someone was after his life. That is a symptom of Hinamizawa syndrome's terminal stage. But although I was involved so deeply with the syndrome, I was careless. Bat? What do you need a bat for? Satoshi-kun had his own bat, so he should have asked if he could take it home, but instead he asked if he could borrow it. When I think about it now, he said it that way to lighten his guilty conscience, but how could I have known then? Well, although I can't come to practice, I think I'll have a little time to practice swinging on my own. That's great. Sure, please take it with you. But make sure that you do it in an open space, okay? If it won't bother your neighbors, it's good practice to hit a hanging tire. Swinging a bat can release stress, so letting him take his bat home will help. That's what I thought. But that was a huge mistake. Someone sounds like a quack to me. Facts. Oh, idiot. I only realized it when things were already past the point of no return. Dang. Well, he's got a bat now. Very, very safe. The bat is the real protagonist of Higurashi. True. It's shown up so much. We were prepared to respond quickly this year. That was why we were able to start the investigation immediately by securing the crime scene. The victim is the wife of the younger brother of the Hojo couple. It kind of is, yeah. Thank you for the hydrate and stretch. So she's an extremely suitable target for the fourth year's curse of Oyashiro-sama. She has a horrible reputation among the locals. After the incident, everyone said she deserved to be cursed. I have a general idea of who the culprit might be. It's probably Satoshi Hojo. That innocent-looking kid. I love watching the model go sip. What does it look like when I sip? Wait, now I want to see. Huh. Interesting. I learned new things. There's even a motive. The deceased abused his sister relentlessly. So this would be in revenge for that. Also, when he attended the inspection of the crime scene, he was rather frantic, yet also far too composed, as if he was totally unrelated to the incident. My intuition from many years of police work tells me that 8 or 9 times out of 10, someone who acts like that is the perp. I have no concrete proof, but if I question him and shake him up a bit, I have a feeling he'll confess. For the victim to be so beaten up, the culprit must have had some blood on him as well. If we could find that, then we'll have proof. Unless he's a complete fool, I'm sure he's already gotten rid of it by now. If we can find any in the place he says he disposed it in after he fesses up, then we can convince the prosecutor, too. This was pretty insignificant as a standalone case. A confession from Satoshi Hojo would end it. Everyone except me must believe that. But if I look at it as part of the series of mysterious deaths, it won't be so easy. Either the 3 families of the village or the Sonozaki family alone is directly involved in this. If they're the ones pulling the strings, they must have instigated Satoshi Hojo into committing this crime. If so, Satoshi Hojo is someone who knows way too much about them. The Sonozaki family's actions must remain hidden. If he could connect them to the crime, would they let him run around freely? Satoshi Hojo is a loving brother who cares very much for his sister, and they set him up to kill his aunt as the 4th year's curse. After that, they'll eliminate the one person who can connect them to the crime. Satoshi Hojo is not just a simple criminal. He was set up. And after that, my suspicions were confirmed, for he abruptly vanished. He disappeared in such a puzzling way. He didn't run because he was afraid that his crime had come to light. Another culprit came into the picture. Trying to remember what happens in all the timelines where Takano dies, because when she's alive, everyone ends up getting gassed, right? No, Takano always ends up dying, but it's like a fake death. It's a stage death. Because, the year Keiichi moves in is the year that Tomitake dies and Takano disappears. And I believe the gas thing happens every time, but we only see it a couple times because sometimes Keiichi dies too early. I think that's what happens anyway. He was already arrested for a different crime, and furthermore, he died while in prison. Yeah. He confessed to information only the culprit himself would have known. Therefore, he must be the culprit. But as he's already dead, the investigation was closed. Then, Satoshi Hojo disappeared a few days after the festival. It's obvious someone doesn't want Satoshi Hojo to be connected to this incident. My boss put pressure on me to close the investigation and to file Satoshi Hojo's disappearance as a separate incident. He even handed the case over to a different section. The way this case is closing so rapidly greatly resembles the same trick used 2 years ago with the Hojo couple's incident. There's no doubt it's the work of someone who could put pressure on the police. As it happens, the Sonozaki family is the only one who can actually exact influence on the police department here in the Hinamizawa area. They may think their trails are covered, but this points towards them more clearly than anything. According to my informant, Oryo Sonozaki mentioned the 4th year's curse at the family meeting and hinted that she was the one behind it all. Hinting isn't strong enough evidence, but there's no mistaking that Oryo Sonozaki is the one pulling the strings. I know they're the ones who did in the old man, but I just can't grab them. The principal offender is still on the loose, but I'm sure he's being sheltered somewhere by the Sonozaki family. I have to locate him and find that missing right arm. I'll return the arm to his grave and make the principal offender and the masterminds both bow down before it. However, just like how Satoshi Hojo disappeared, it's possible the principal offender has already been eliminated. I bet he's already been killed and buried somewhere nobody can find him. If that's the case, then that's fine. I'll make the old bag who ordered someone to kill the old man slam her forehead on the ground before his grave. This I swear. After the 4th year's curse, people are already saying something will happen again next year. Even with all my preparations, I couldn't prevent the incident from happening this time. It's too late if something happens. I must keep my eyes on the core of this village before something takes place. There's a reason why I have to get to the bottom of this by next year. Because I'm retiring. My mother's been wanting to go back to her hometown in Hokkaido, and for a long time she's been asking me to move there when I retire. I feel that's the least I could do for her, so I agreed to move to Hokkaido when I retire. So next year is my last chance to avenge the old man's death. It happened 4 years in a row, so more than likely there will be a 5th curse too. As a result of the series of mysterious deaths, the village has been tightly knit together since the dam protests. They were told the betrayers will be punished in the name of the curse. To the masterminds, that's enough reason to continue with the series of mysterious deaths. According to rumors, this year's victim, the ant, was cursed because she didn't participate in the Watanagashi festival. So there are villagers who believe that if they don't participate in next year's Watanagashi, they'll be cursed. It'll be a huge festival next year for sure. Something will happen. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, also known as the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. I will avenge the old man. I definitely will. He has no idea. Ooh. Honey, you've got a big storm coming for real. He's gonna be so distraught when he finally realizes that the Sonozakis were not behind it at all. The village was in an uproar, because the 4th mysterious death in a row, which everyone believed would happen, actually did. Satoko-chan's aunt was killed. All the villagers feel rather satisfied about this incident, saying the curse finally fell on her for being a local troublemaker. But I know the truth. When I saw the beaten-up body at the crime scene, I knew that Satoshi-kun was responsible for it. Was this Irie? Please tell me. Her abuse towards Satoko-chan was getting worse and worse. Satoshi-kun wanted me to protect her, so he brought home a baseball bat. All the signs were there, so I didn't even need to hear it from Satoshi-kun. Get out of here, lobotomy duck. That's such a good name for him, I'm dead. Yet I couldn't avoid questioning myself. I felt bad for the Hojo siblings, who had no one on their side, so I tried to be their ally. In the end, I failed to be any help to them. The phone rang. It was Satoshi-kun. He's never called me before. What happened? Does he want me to help him? If so, I will. I truly feel that way. Hello? Coach? Sorry to bother you while you're at work. Oh, don't worry. What can I do for you? I can't think of anyone else who has a car. A car? Sure, I have one. I'm in front of a toy store in Okinomiya. Not the one owned by Mion's uncle, but the other one by the dentist's office. Sure, I know where it is. I found a teddy bear for Satoko's birthday, but it's too big to put on my bicycle. Too big. Satoshi-kun, how big is this teddy bear? Guess he didn't think about it and went to the toy store on his bicycle. Now he's stuck. That's so typical of him. I can't help but smile warmly. Did Irie kidnap Satoshi? I think he did. I think this is what's being implied here, because they're probably gonna talk about it, and Satoshi's gonna confess, and then Irie is like, oh shoot, he's L5, and then Takano's gonna be like, haha, it's dissection time. In other words, he can't carry both the bicycle and the teddy bear, so he wants me to come and pick him up. I told him I'd be right over, and headed to the toy store in Okinomiya. When I got there, I found that the teddy bear he bought is a lot bigger than I imagined. Oh my. This is huge. There's no way you could put this on your bicycle, huh? The teddy bear is so big that Satoshi-kun can hardly wrap his arms around it. What a fate indeed! If he puts it on his lap in the passenger seat, he won't be able to see anything. We loaded the bicycle in the back seat and stuffed the teddy bear in the trunk. Boy, it must have been expensive. Yeah, I guess. At first, I thought he was sweating because of the heat. But he's acting oddly. As if he had a high fever and his consciousness is coming and going. What's wrong? Are you feeling okay? I guess... Well... I think... I have a cold. Sir, did you steal it? I don't think so. 'Cause surely he can't stand in front of the toy store he stole it from, like, hey, Dr. Idiot, can you come pick me up? Right? 'Cause he's just sitting there. That's not good. Do you want to swing by the clinic? I'll give you a checkup. Thank you. When he called earlier, he didn't sound this way. Did he become ill all of a sudden? Why don't you put the seat back? Is it too cold? Are you okay? His face is turning pale. I could tell he has a high fever. Satoshi-kun was pushing himself to buy this teddy bear. A teddy bear this size can't be cheap. For him to earn enough money in such a short period of time, he must have worked hard and long hours. He thought he was buying a present for his sister, but in reality he's a present for Takano. I'm dead. No. Actually, he's dead. But anyway. Maybe he felt relieved now that he got the teddy bear he had wanted to buy. It's not unusual for a person to collapse after reaching his big goal. I'm proud of you for earning enough money to buy such a huge teddy bear. Satoko-chan will be so happy. I hope so. I'm sure she will be. I guarantee it. Our aunt is gone. Our uncle isn't coming back. There's nobody who can hurt her in any way anymore. Right? That's right. There won't be anyone who can hurt her, so you can relax now. Our aunt is gone. Right? She died. Right? That's what you think, indeed. Uncle Doobie coming back. Yes, she's dead. I performed the autopsy. There could be no mistake. She'll never abuse Satoko-chan again. Are you sure? Did you really confirm that she's dead? Yes, I sure did. So, even if I see someone who looks just like her, it's not her, right? It's not like she was actually alive and recovered, right? No, that's not possible. She'll never come back to us. Then, look. That lady. She looks like her, but that's not my aunt, right? Right? Satoshi-kun pointed at the oncoming car in fear. Of course, the car passed by so quickly that I couldn't see her face, but no matter how much she looks like her, it's impossible for her to be alive. Look! Look! Look at her! She looks exactly like her! She even looked at me! Calm down, Satoshi-kun. Your aunt is dead, so no matter how much she looks like her, it's not your aunt. But she looks just like her. Look! No, it must be her. That's my aunt. I killed her. I bashed her head in. Repeatedly. Why? Why? I can only try to stay calm and drive. Satoshi-kun is losing his cool. He's delusional. He's seeing his aunt coming back from the dead. Then I finally realize. Satoshi-kun is displaying symptoms of the terminal stage. I'm gonna start calling any issues I have the Hinamizawa syndrome. Be careful. Look out for any quack doctors. I need to examine him once I get to the clinic. It's different from Satoko-chan's case. We already have the cure. We can treat Satoshi-kun. If I talk to the mountain dogs, they'll take care of the burner of his aunt. So I can both save him from going terminal and give him back his peaceful days with Satoko-chan. He was deranged until just a minute ago, but now he's gone quiet. He didn't fall asleep. I must get to the clinic while Satoshi-kun remains in this calm state. There's no guarantee that he won't attack me while I'm driving. As if he knows what is going through my mind, Satoshi-kun spoke to me quietly. Coach, is this the curse of Oyashiro-sama? There's no curse. Please try to stay focused. Satoko, sorry. Until just before I bought the teddy bear, I was thinking about running away. That's why Oyashiro-sama got angry. I'm a failure. As a big brother. I'm... You don't need to say anything. Close your eyes and get some rest. We'll get to the clinic soon. Then I'll give you some medicine, okay? I feel like there are maggots in my blood. It itches. Don't scratch. Don't claw at your throat. We arrived at the back door to the clinic. I slammed the brakes and stopped the car. Satoshi-kun had already started to claw at his throat. I can't stop him by myself. I asked for some help through the intercom. Some staff members came out immediately. Maybe Satoshi-kun was surprised to see so many people at once, because he started to resist. I don't even need to run tests. He is at L5. He's reached the terminal stage, and his thoughts must be filled with delusions. Maybe he thinks that the staff members want to kill him. The staff members pinned his arms and legs down and gave him a shot to put him to sleep. Coach, please, help me! Don't worry, I'll make you better, so please relax. Coach, please, take care of Satoko. Please take care of Satoko. After saying those words, he fell unconscious. My, what's going on? Satoshi-kun suddenly displayed symptoms. Considering the amount of stress he's been under, I guess it was just a matter of time. Or maybe he was holding it back until he bought the teddy bear. It's interesting that somehow we always find a live specimen around Watanagashi. Do you think it's the curse of Oyashiro-sama? I don't have time to listen to her nonsense. We welcome Satoshi to his fate. Takano's happy. She's just like, yay, another live specimen! That's crazy. Alright, new family. Eight. Oh, we're getting to the Keiichi portion, okay. I don't know what to do. My name is Ichiro Maebara, and I am hopelessly lost. I came to Hinamizawa on a tour to find a lot for a vacation home. Yeah, Keiichi, he's back! When the realtor finished explaining some details, he told us to take a walk until the departure time. Such beautiful scenery and fresh air. I let my senses guide me, and here I am. Where am I? I still have a little time left before the departure, but I am completely lost. This is basically the middle of nowhere, but people actually do live here. If I keep walking, I should run into somebody. Then I can ask for directions. Don't worry. The only thing I need to keep in mind is the departure time for the bullet train. The more time passes, the more I start to think I was being too optimistic about running into somebody. Because I can't find anybody at all. Maybe I'm walking further and further away from where people are, in which case I'm in serious trouble. So upon hearing someone's voice, I feel immensely relieved. It sounds like little girls are playing nearby. If it's a place where little kids can play, it must be a safe village. I follow those voices. Upon rounding the wild pampas grass, I can see a beautiful field. 2 girls are playing there. They're dancing in the field filled with blooming wildflowers. What I'm seeing is more beautiful than all of the great works of art I've ever seen put together. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but this looks holier than any religious painting. Why is it that seeing innocent girls dance around like this makes people feel this way? It's probably because we're sinners. You can't live with pleasure and glory alone. We sin even as we live. That's why we feel awed by the sight of innocence. It reminds us of the time when we were pure. We grow up naturally, and we lose innocence as we do. And we admire and adore the children who symbolize that which we lost.
Meep. There's a suspicious person who's mumbling some weird stuff over there.
Oh. Rika, that's not a suspicious person. Why is Hanyu not transparent? How very strange. Sir, go to jail, true. Eh? Sorry. I'm not suspicious.
But you've been staring at my chest and legs. Nipa.
No, I'm not. Don't turn me in. I really wasn't staring. I was using this mirror to fix my hair. I don't know what you're talking about, but it sure sounds interesting. Sir, go to jail. I agree.
Like father, like son.
The girls teased me for a while, and when they got tired of doing that, they went back to dancing around. Realizing that whatever I said would backfire, I decided to leave them alone and sat down to watch them play. I wonder how old they are. They seem rather young, but maybe they could be close to Keiichi's age. If we move here, Keiichi might meet them at school. If he would see them at school, then they were girls that lived here. If all the children in Hinamizawa are like them, then even if living a rural life may have some challenges, there's a good reason for us to move here. I wonder why I could see Hanyu? Me too! How is this possible? We're not very good parents. We didn't understand what Keiichi was going through and left him alone until the very end. According to the parenting book I bought, the first few problems are calls for help. It doesn't matter what the action itself is, but the fact that those actions are occurring is a primitive appeal from the child seeking communication. Humans can speak, and that's one of the reasons why we don't notice such signs. We can only hear words through our ears, and we can't sense the signs coming from our son's heart. Keiichi probably thinks it's all his fault. Of course, he's not absent of blame. Humans aren't dogs or cats. We should know what's right and what's wrong. But it's our fault too, as his parents. To let him think that he had to go that far for us to be able to understand him is really pathetic and disappointing of us. If we had understood him and hadn't cornered him, Keiichi wouldn't have done that. So the incidents weren't only Keiichi's fault. Everyone in the Mayabata family was to blame. I want to explain that to him, but he's still too young and hot-headed to be able to understand. Right now, the guilt he's feeling is basically crushing him under its weight. He doesn't even have the will to live. My wife is the same. She's blaming herself for forcing him to study for better grades. She thinks that's why the incidents took place. And I'm no different. I'm blaming myself for not being involved in my son's education. I think that's why the incidents took place. The cross will be forever on our shoulders, even after the injured child accepts our apologies. Yet our cold society would tell us to die under the weight of that cross. Even so, we have to live. We have to accept our sins and carry our burdens on our shoulders. Maybe we could start a new life here in this village. I thought about all that as I watched the girls dance. Keiichi needs friends like them. Friends like those girls will offer him so much more than the friends who only talk about cram schools and exam results. The girls are playing near a sign that doesn't fit into this open field. It's a sign about lots for sale, and the name of the realtor who brought me here for the tour is written on it. Does that mean we can live, even in this beautiful area, if we want to? One of the girls spoke as if reading my mind.
This is a wonderful village. You'll find lots of things you don't have in a big city.
If this is all a big explanation, do we then get a happy ending or only our pseudo-good ending? I think this is leading up to the happy ending. I assume. Yeah, that's right. I think so too.
But I think you'll bring some things from the city to this village that we don't have.
Do we have anything? Sure you do. Oh.
We lived in this village for hundreds of years just like this. Nobody comes to visit and nothing happens. And so, nothing ever changes.
Isn't that what's good about this place?
Didn't you come here because you wanted to change something?
Yeah, you're right about that.
We want new people to come here too. It's like breaking the dam that keeps the swamp water from flowing out. Water is purified by moving. If it stays motionless, then it's just a swamp.
In fact, this village used to be named after a swamp up until the Meiji era. But the name was changed to Hinamizawa. The water in a swamp stagnates because it doesn't flow. But the water in a stream stays fresh.
Hee. Besides, you all are the ones who will teach us that dams can be broken. Should be broken.
They playing riddles with me? I have no idea what they're trying to say, but there's one thing I know. The villagers are waiting for new people to come here, and they want to build a future with those newcomers. I looked at the sign behind the girls one more time, so that I'd remember this place. They're so ominous, real. I'm surprised Keiichi's dad hasn't run away screaming. Already decided.
We'll be waiting for you to move here, Maebara.
Oh, there you are. Sir, how did you get this far out? A raspy voice from the distance ended this innocent moment. It's the realtor. I guess he's been looking for me because I didn't return. Sorry about that. I got lost. I apologized while scratching my head. I turned around to look for the girls, but they weren't there anymore. And he doesn't find that freaky? Dang. Okay then. Mr. Keiichi's dead. They just know your name, don't worry about it? Yeah. It's crazy. Okay, I'll get going. Thank you.
Don't mention it. Come back anytime, okay?
Hi, I'm home. Hey, Uncle Hiroshi. Long time no see. Hey, Mion-chan. Are you going home? I have to give my clients a ride. A ride? Oh, you're talking about your realtor business, huh? The Sonozaki family is one of the largest landowners here in the Hinamizawa area. However, since all the land is out here in the countryside, it just ends up sitting there. Recently, the land owned by the Sonozaki family was put on sale in lots. At the family meeting, some of our relatives opposed the idea by saying that we shouldn't sell off land that was handed down from our ancestors. But Granny snapped it and shut them right up. Some of the unused fields were made into vacant lots and released for public sale. Actually, I had some questions about it too. The Sonozaki family is very wealthy. We have plenty of land as well as money, so why did we have to sell it off? What's more surprising to me is that Granny was the one who came up with the idea. I would have thought that she'd get furious if someone even mentioned something like that. Okay, if you're ever near the station, be sure to stop by. I'll treat you to a cup of barley tea. Sure, thank you very much. So how's your business going? I'm surprised there are actually city folk who are interested. They must be those nouveau rich types who live in... nouveau riche? Riche? I don't know how to say this. French? Question mark? Who live in the big city, yet also want a house in the countryside. Just realized it's odd for Iria to not tell Satoko that her brother was sick, considering he cares about them and is their only ally. Yeah. I guess maybe if he told her that Satoshi was sick, she'd be like, oh, then is he at the hospital? Can I go see him? And they don't really want to show her him getting dissected on a table. I don't know. That is weird, though. Like, his idea of, like, caring about them is a little skewed. Like, I guess there's really not much he can do, but at the same time, it's like... I don't know if that's right. Well, I guess some people are curious. There's one family seeking to move here, not purchase a villa. He said he wants to build a studio, so he must be an artist of some sort. Oh, that's great. Oh gosh, I'd better go. Supposedly, he planned a tour to show them the lots, and he's the one driving the bus. She just assumed he fled on a bus ticket? Yeah. Like, cool. Your brother's gone, he left you. And, like, she never got the bear. What happened to the bear? It should be about time for the tour and explanations to end. He left in a hurry. Hey, can I ask you something? Right, where's the bear? Did Takano take it? Or maybe they're hiding a body in it? Why did you want to sell our land? You don't like newcomers.
I don't like newcomers, and I don't like big city people either. But the village needs them.
Yeah, imagine like Satoshi's hidden inside the bear, and then someday Satoko gets it. That's so messed up. Ooh.
It's like ventilating a room.
Is it good for the village to have new people move in?
This is a wonderful village, but the world is changing quickly. In the past, a very small change took 10 or even 20 years to happen. It was such a quiet and unchanging village.
Well, that's rural life. In this village, nothing is different from yesterday and today. It's too boring for me, though.
But you made a friend, didn't you? Rena Ryugu-chan moved here and you got along great. You told me that you were happy that you had a friend your age.
Yeah, making friends unexpectedly is fun.
I remember you saying that school is boring when Rena-chan is absent. Do you remember that?
Are you saying that's the good thing about letting new people move here?
No matter how cold it gets, you still have to ventilate your living space. Otherwise, it gets filled with bad air and you'll suffocate to death. You open the window even knowing the freezing cold air will come in.
Letting outsiders move here is like ventilating the village.
Sure, it lets fresh air in and gets rid of bad air like us.
If I bring up the Hojo family, I know Granny will explode, so I won't. But I think what Granny's trying to say includes things like their ongoing isolation. Even now, when she remembers about what happened at that explanatory meeting, she gets really upset. But I guess even she feels that need to come to an end. But of course, she can't just say that she'll forgive them. Not when she's at this stubborn age. She can't lose face by openly saying that they need to be forgiven. Honestly, I think she's behaving like a little schoolgirl who actually likes a person, but treats them rudely when they're around. Maybe people really do go back to being children when they get old enough. I'm not just talking about Granny. The same can be said about all the old people in the village. No, maybe I should say the evil around here. That must be what she meant by bad air. There's no use circulating the air in a closed room. Unless you open the windows and let fresh air in, the air in the room won't be purified. We don't know if there's actually going to be people moving here, but don't you think you're expecting too much from whoever does?
Just Rena-chan moving here changed you, Mion. Whoever moves here will change this village. If possible, I hope some young and energetic people who have the charisma to lead will appear. They need to be the ones to put the old people away into heaven.
Are you thinking about Gramps?
Darn you, nobody's thinking about him. Here, have the housekeeper put away the tea set on the veranda.
Okay, I will.
Mion.
The day Satoshi Hojo disappeared, you came to me, huh? Yeah. I guess I did.
That is what woke me up. The problem with the Hojo family, we can't just let time take care of it. We have to take care of it ourselves as soon as possible.
But you can't do it yourself, so you're going to have an outsider take care of it?
That's the best I can do.
No matter how bad your hand is, the next card can change the flow of the game. So maybe it's a good idea to draw cards from the stack.
Your generation will be a new wind. Let that new wind come from the outside, and you'll be the wind from the inside. When both winds create a gale, the gust will blow away the stale air from the village.
That's the epitome of leaving your problem to others. You're the one who started the fire, and you're trying to have your grandchild take care of it.
Oh, don't say that. As the new leader of the Sonozaki family, bring the new wind into the village.
If you're saying that's my job as your successor...
Please, Mion. I'm too old.
Bitrate, my beloved, no. My bitrate is being sus. I cry.
The only thing I can do now is to be despised by people.
The wind chime sounded quietly. Oh, wait, let me see if I can fix it. Maybe that'll do something, maybe not. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe that's a sign to let us know a cool breeze is on the way. Why is my bitrate bad? I cry. This is the school? Yeesh, this really is the sticks. Keiichi, don't say stuff like that. The people in this area love coming here. That was my first impression of the Hinamizawa branch school. No matter how I look at it, it doesn't look like a school at all. It even has a sign that says Hinamizawa Forestry Service. You're right. We're borrowing the building from the Forestry Service, said the man they called the principal as he laughed heartily. Although it doesn't look like it is in fact a school. The rules may be a little different from the ones you went to previously, though. Are you okay with that? Yes. I heard all the grades are put in the same classroom at this school. I didn't believe it, but I think it's really true. They're all younger than I am, so I guess it'll be like kindergarten. Though it'll be interesting compared to my previous school, where everyone looked the same age. If you transfer here, you'll be the oldest boy in the class. So you'll have to be a good role model for the younger students. The younger students have the tendency to copy bad habits from the older ones. I'll be keeping my eyes on you too, so make sure you're aware of that, okay? I understand. I'll do my best. Keiichi, what she means is that the textbooks aren't the only things you learn from. As a member of the class and also as an older student, you'll have to be a good example. I know that already. After that, Chie-sensei brought us to an empty classroom and showed me where my desk would be. Since we're all still growing, I'm sure our sizes are very different. There are some desks that are way too small for me to even put my legs under, and also some that are just perfect for me. There are approximately 30 desks in here, but since all the different grades are in the same room, I'm sure it's very lively. There's also a wall full of calligraphy and art from different grades. Think I'm a few minutes behind. Oh no. Yikes. Yeah. It doesn't look like it's getting better. So maybe we'll end after this. We'll see. It reminds me of the days when I truly enjoyed my school life. Dad, I like it here. I like the school better than the other one in town. I think my son likes it here. I want him to go to this school too. I see. The school in Okinomiya has more resources and better teachers, though. Even while saying that, Chie-sensei looked happy to hear that a new student would be transferring into her class. My father and the teachers went back to the teacher's office to get the transfer process going. In the meantime, I decided to stay in the classroom and look around. I didn't care about the move. I'd lost the will to live because of what I did. I didn't have any willpower, and I couldn't even get out of bed. So when my parents told me about the move, I thought that wouldn't change anything. But after the move, something did change. I want to restart my life. I want to restart my life and become someone I've always wanted to be. Here in Hinamizawa and at this school, I could do that. I'm not going back to who I was. I'll never again think that good grades are the most important thing in this world. I have a feeling that I can learn the things that are really important in life here at this school. I never had the chance to learn them before now. It's almost embarrassing to put into words, but they're extremely valuable things, and if you don't learn them, then you won't become a decent adult. The students at this school learned them a long time ago. To them, they're a given. Yet I have to spend time learning about them even at this age. How to make friends, how to play with friends, to play. Things you can only learn from play. Things like socializing with others, etc., etc. It seems so easy, but it'll take me a while to learn them. I pushed those things aside and devoted myself to studying. I'm not trying to say studying isn't important, but you shouldn't become blinded by it. If someone says studying and good grades are the most important things in life, he's talking BS. so I can restart my life here at this school. Finally, I can become someone I've always wanted to be. I noticed two girls looking in at me through the window. The schoolyard must also be a playground for these children, because I saw a lot of them playing there earlier. I guess those two noticed me walking around the classroom and became curious. I guess that's natural. I'm a stranger to them. Should I say hello and let them know that I'm starting school next Monday?
Finally. We've been waiting for so long.
Oh. This will change things. Because Keiichi's the 6 on the die. Why is Hanyu not transparent?
Yes, he is. But his die rolls a 1 far too often.
Oh. That's not Keiichi's fault, though.
It's all your fault, Hanyu. It's because of you. Apologize to Keiichi.
Oh. Eh? Do you know my name? She said my name, didn't she? Did I hear her wrong? I've never met her before.
Nippa. Are you a new student?
Eh? Nice to meet you. I'm Keiichi Maebara. I'm starting next Monday. Take care of me, okay? Oh. Sure thing.
Here's a message for you, Keiichi, from the Shrine Maiden of the Furude Shrine. On your first day, be careful when you come through the door to the classroom. Also, there'll be a thumbtack on the back of your chair. There'll be a toy frog in your desk, too.
But even with this warning, you fall for it again and again. Your Monday is going to be disastrous. Poor Keiichi.
Hehe. That's why it's fun. Why don't you try overcoming that fate sometime? Hehehe. You'll be the one to teach us that. In one of the many worlds, right?
Huh? I'll be reminded of the prophecy made by the two girls next Monday, because of the actions of a snaggle-toothed girl. I'll realize it too late, though. But I like it here. My name is Keiichi Maebara. This is my new beginning, and this time, I'm going to enjoy it to the fullest. Story time shall never end, pain. I've been missing out on so much, but I'm going to learn all those things here. I'm going to absorb all of it, and I'll become someone I've always wanted to become. It may take a very long time, but I'll definitely do it. I don't want story time to end either. I'm gonna miss Higurashi so much, but we're actually like at the end now. That's crazy. Okay, wait, we finished all of these. Oh my gosh, it's actually just these then. But I think we will be ending it here for today. My bitrate is being a butt, so no art. So,